I'm here at Mark Andy booth, and we are literally sweating, right, Phil?
I know. Unfortunately, I'm in a suit and tie at the moment, so it's I can feel it.
I feel you paid it, even though I'm just wearing a shirt, basically, right? But I mean, it's great to be back. It's first time in many years that LabelExpo for 4 years. How is it for you guys to be back?
I mean, it's good. It's good to be back. The European market, this is always a big, big show for everybody. So it's nice to be back. It'd be nice if it was like last time, cold and wet, but we can't always have English weather.
That's one thing. And another thing which is quite amazing, if it's warm, we are complaining about that. If it's cold, we're complaining about that, right?
Exactly. Well, it's human nature. We moan about everything. So.
Precisely. We are here at your booth. You have brought 3 different machines. This is a Flexo machine. What have you brought here?
So this is the new Mark Andy Pro Series. It's basically a full servo press, but at quite an attractive or affordable price point. We've taken a lot of the technology we have on the Evolution series and the Performance series, such as the printhead design and concept, and brought it into this Pro series. There are some limitations against these bigger machines, but why spend all that extra money on drives and servos you don't need? So we basically designed and built this machine as a label press, but whether you're a converter with mechanical machines struggling to be competitive in the modern day and age, it enables you to enter the servo market. Or if you're a bigger converter with these big, more expensive combination machines, you don't want to tie it out with high volume, low margin label work. This machine's ideal to take it off. Compatible tooling.
So when you have a machine like this, is it like a replacement to existing equipment, or does it fit a particular new segment that Mark Andy is addressing?
No, so I mean, really it's 2 segments. So it's to either enable you to enter the label market if you're coming from offset or LIFO, a very easy to operate, operator-friendly machine. If you have older, we call it legacy mechanical presses, this will sort of be a 2-for-1 replacement. You're going to easily see 50% waste savings. I mean, your setup time is gone from hours to minutes. So it's all the beauty of that, but at an attainable price.
And I guess that your biggest problem when it comes to technology is that your legacy technology is way too good, right?
Unfortunately, it is, yeah. I mean, you look at the 2200, we just can't kill it off. And Mark Andy's known for building machines that last 20 plus years. And even on the modern servo machines, we have agreement with like the suppliers, so we got redundancy, so 20 plus years worth of support.
And it looks smooth, and it looks like a machine that is like very easy to get to the sleeves and get into the setup of the machine, right?
It is. It's very quick setup, easy changeover, easy to use. It's a nice small compact footprint as well, because space is always a bit of a
and becoming more and more of an issue, right?
Exactly.
So let's move. The next thing you have here is Digital Max Pro. It says on the wall, right?
Yeah. So the Digital Pro Max or Max Pro. If we just hit in here a second. So we launched back many years ago the D1. This was sort of the predecessor to this machine. Then we went, it was so popular, we went with the D Pro 3. We listened to the market, we started adding flexos, made it a larger hybrid. This is the latest generation. So this goes from, originally we started 9 meters a minute, then we were at 23 meters a minute, now we're at 40 meters a minute. But rather than just a CMYK, we also had digital toner whites. This particular machine, and we've just seen the Pro Series, part of designing the Pro Series as well wasn't just to offer an affordable servo machine, it was to offer the hybrid flexo part of the D Pro Max.
So you have a digital machine, but you can still use it for flexo as well? Or, I mean, limited, of course.
You could. I mean, you can add up to 6 print stations, but the idea...
that is not the purpose, or...
The purpose, I mean, if you say you'd want to have your digital work, you could put flexo through it. We have a bypass module, and then you can run at full flexo speeds. So you do have that advantage. But the idea really is you could have flexo before for, say, a certain spot color. You could have flexo after, so lamination, cold foil. You could do a spot matte, a spot gloss. So you could start really just with your roll to roll, and then build it up rather than going to offline finishing. If you already have offline finishing, perhaps you want to stay that way. We offer you a roll to roll. But to varnish and die cut in line is far more profitable than going offline.
So when you talk about listening to the customer's needs, so there is a demand for this type of setup, basically. Is that because it's like, everybody's talking about hybrid machines, and everybody's talking about, should I go full digital, should I go hybrid? You basically take the best of both worlds here, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's a fusion of 2 technologies, flexo and digital. Historically in the past, it's roll to roll. We sort of tend to leave the roll-to-roll market away and push forward with hybrid. I mean, we're known as the hybrid supplier. We started that sort of market, and you know, we have almost 400 hybrids installed globally now.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's a big part. It's getting more and more. I'd say within a year, 18 months, it'll be half of our business on the digital side. But the beauty of the hybrid is you don't have to say, if you prime your material offline, you print your material, you then have to varnish offline, die cut offline. You're taking out that secondary process. So it's one less operator, one less machine.
And the flexibility of digital as well. Of course.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and for throughput and capacity. So when you're varnishing and die cutting in line, it's always going to be more accurate than offline die cutting as well.
Yeah, because you have full register when
Exactly.
you print anyway. So, yeah,
the bottleneck with digital, roll-to-roll digital, is offline finishing. So you have one digital machine, two offline finishers. Here you've eliminated the bottleneck. You're running your digitals at faster and faster speeds, so you're going to crash your digital line, your offline finishing even more. Here you just varnish, die cut, master roll to your slitter rewinder.
And who is the typical customer for a machine like this?
That's a good one. It's hard to say these days, because if you don't have digital to complement your flexo business, you're outsourcing it, so you're not making any money.
So this is actually an opportunity for those who need to outsource today to basically have that as a complementary product in your setup, basically.
Absolutely, and the way Mark Andy have addressed it is we offer from, say, the D Pro 3, if you just want to test the water, you only have a few digital jobs, but as your business grows, you can then upgrade to the D Pro Max. As your business grows on from that, or different substrates, you can move to the digital series.
Let's go and see that one, because that's your baby, isn't it?
This is our baby indeed.
So when you say upgrade, does it mean that you literally can take a machine and upgrade it to whatever need you have, or is it?
By upgrade, I mean we offer, because we build the machines, we can then trade them in.
Oh, okay, so that is how it works.
You
Okay.
can trade in and move up,
Yeah.
but a lot of the machines are upgradable. So on here you could start with, say, the digital engine and one varnish unit.
Yeah.
But then you want to do your foil, you can add it. Everything is modular. This is designed around our Performance Series P7 platform.
Yeah.
So
let's start from the beginning, because you have you feed all the material here, right?
yeah, so we have options, cantilevered unwind or dual frame unwind. So
Yeah.
any option you have on our Performance Series,
Yeah.
you can have on the digital series.
Yeah.
It comes in 330mm or 430mm. The 430mm market is actually growing more, because a lot of the label presses are 430mm. And to move an operator over to a digital machine, it's a bit scary and it's a bit new. If they have a Performance Series and then you move them to this, the only new thing to learn is the digital engine.
Of course. And when you look at it, I mean, is there any of course you're interested in selling these machines. So what is when people, because you come to LabelExpo, obviously there is a lot of competition here, right? And I guess that you know your competition, right? So what is the main reason for people to buy Mark Andy over any of your competitors?
Well, Mark Andy do partner. We have partnerships with Domino. We can integrate their machines, whether it's a retrofit or whether actually their engine within our press. The digital series, this is the second generation, the HD. So this is the higher resolution 1200 DPI. We actually built
And that
it
is
from
the Domino engine. That is.
This is Mark Andy.
This
So
is
Mark Andy
engine.
built this from the ground up.
Okay, so this is your own technology.
Exactly.
Basically.
So there's only not even a handful. There's a couple of suppliers that are single source supplier. Most of the hybrids you see is a partnership. The digital is one supplier, the flexo is another. On the digital series, everything is Mark Andy. So the digital ground up, designed and built by Mark Andy, the flexo by Mark Andy. So you have one line of communication.
And I was just about to say, because from software side, from a user side, operator side, everything makes a lot of sense when you do it like this, right?
It does. It's more accurate. Yeah. We have a lot more control. So when you integrate an engine, for example, you'll see a bit of flexo, a big sort of square box, and then a bit of flexo. We've integrated it so you can take anything on the rail and traverse the whole length of the press.
Smart.
We have control. So in the future, any changes we can make. If you have a machine where you have one flexo supplier and one digital supplier, now if they fell out, you're going to have a redundant machine. Yeah. If you want to make changes, who do you go to? The flexo or the digital? You have a problem.
Go to you now, right?
Flexo, digital. Now it's just Mark Andy.
And
so one supplier, one source.
And that is one thing. But what I also like about is that when you look at this setup here, you have the Kurtz foiler,
Yep.
and you also have the Lemo finishing part of it, right here.
Absolutely.
So I mean, so even though it's a Mark Andy setup, you still have an open mindset towards partners in the market, right?
We do, and you know, a lot of it is shelf appeal. So something like the Kurtz unit, you can have very high-end decoration, beverages, cosmetics. That market is moving more and more onto digital inkjet because of the white. Historically, has been it's silk screen. With inkjetting, you can get the same results without multiple screens.
Yeah.
Something like the Lemu, what we've seen as well is sort of closed loop end-to-end automation. So you could run the press non-stop unwinder.
And you have some samples here, right?
Yeah, so this is one of the new foils we've been working with Kurtz.
Nice.
So again, you see this on the shop, you think premium product, high end. You're going to
Definitely.
pay a price for that. So,
And of course, everything is about how to optimize your business by utilizing the best technology available, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
and any technology that we can put on the Flexo, we can add over here to the digital series.
And then you have the turn bars.
So up here, you can have turn bars or you can have reversing print stations. This is a cold foil unit. This is a double crossover unit. So sort of, your product can't have a larger label, so extended content.
So you have
multiply.
you see that typically like when you have recipes on, let's say, meat,
Exactly,
things
yeah.
like that.
So a coupon or a
Is
multiply
that
label.
a growing demand for these kind of technologies, or how do you see
There
that?
is. So this has been growing year on year. You have a lot of stuff like the allergen information. So you need more information or new legislation on medical, but you can't increase the product size.
No.
So you have to increase the amount of information you can have on the label.
So when you look at, I mean, at this machine here, of course, you have this is a controller set up here from the operator. So is this an easy machine to operate in your opinion? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, we have our Flexo controls. Your digital here is basically what you'll do is you'll send your job over to hot folders. You get the job screen, the operator can just go bang, 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 bang. Everything's set up to run, all his work's there, off you go. So the Flexo, the beauty of being the single supplier is rather than using an encoder and the digital telling the Flexo how it's working or the Flexo telling the digital how it's working, this runs as one machine.
Yeah. And I take that when you see a machine like this, I take that converter, see the efficiency gain you can have by this. I take that most people are investing today because the more efficient you can be, the better go-to-market strategy you can have, right?
Exactly. Once you start getting into multi-SKUs, anything over 3 or 4 different SKUs, up to a couple of thousand meters, digital will always be more efficient because of time and cost. What a Flexo machine would do within, say, a week, as long as you've correctly planned it up, I mean, this would just chew through in a day. The other big advantage is your setup waste is almost zero. And if you've got an older mechanical machine and you're using 300-400 meters per setup, you're doing 45-minute changeover per SKU. We don't have that changeover time per SKU. We don't have that setup time or material wastage. So that's the beauty of
Now I know why you're smiling, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, you look on the market, and it sounds quite sad, but it's a sexy machine.
It is, yeah.
It is a nice-looking machine.
Also because it can do so much. So before we stop here, I just want to ask you one more question because I understand the setup of here. And then you have the Lemo. What does that do, and why is that also important for you to show here?
The Lemo basically has a turret rewinder. So now, rather than just running your master roll, sending it to a secondary process slitter rewinder, you can have one operator with a flying splice unwind. The press doesn't have to stop, unless except for when you come to your die change. What this will do is take the master roll and we'll slit it down into the smaller finish rolls, and it ejects it. So there's different versions. You can have glueless, you can have with glue. We can actually offer, in partnership with Lemu, the full finishing system. So it will come out, the roll will be cut. This is more for your longer runs. Ejected, it goes onto the conveyor, picked and packed into a box, the box is sealed, and it's ready to go out the door. So a process that would need the printer, the slitter rewinder, the dispatch is now one person, one process.
And I even see you have a printer on top that is making the labels.
It will close the rolls for us. So this whole process has sort of become automated now. We can fit this on our Flexo, we can fit it on the digital. For your bigger long runs, low margin, long runs, high volume, something like this is ideal because areas like Scandinavia, very high wages. So if you can go from 3 people to 1, 3 machines to 1, it's a closed loop process.
You say high wages in Scandinavia. I think they're way too low.
You're obviously from Scandinavia.